An adopted cat doesn't decide they belong when they first arrive. They decide it later, in silence, when no one is asking. Welcome to CATFACTSFUNNY. Today, we're looking at how that quiet decision is made. Belonging, for an adopted cat, is not something that happens at the moment they arrive. It does not form simply because a door closes behind them or because a bowl is placed gently on the floor. Belonging is not created by comfort alone, and it is not guaranteed by kindness. An adopted cat enters a new home carrying attention that remains outward-facing, alert to what has not yet proven itself. Even in calm spaces, even in gentle hands, the decision has not been made. Belonging is not assumed. It is chosen. An adopted cat may look settled before they truly are. They may eat, explore, even rest. Yet inwardly they are still measuring the environment, still listening for changes, still observing how the world behaves when nothing is being offered to them. This is not hesitation. It is discernment. Before a cat belongs, they need to understand what the space asks of them, and just as importantly, what it does not. Watching before choosing. Before an adopted cat decides they belong, they spend time watching without participation. They observe how people move when they are not being addressed, how voices sound when emotions are low, how the house behaves in moments of ordinary silence. This watching is not rooted in fear. It is rooted in care. Cats are careful with belonging because belonging, once given, is difficult to withdraw. A cat in this phase may remain near but not engage, sharing space without sharing attention. They may follow routines from a distance, learning patterns without stepping into them. They are not unsure, they are selective. Belonging requires commitment, and cats do not commit until the environment demonstrates consistency beyond intention. They wait to see who the home is when no one is trying to be reassuring. Testing without announcing. An adopted cat does not test belonging in loud or obvious ways. There is no challenge issued, no demand made. Instead, the cat places themselves briefly into moments of vulnerability and watches how the space responds. They may disengage suddenly, step away without explanation, or ignore an invitation that felt almost right. These are not refusals. They are measurements. What matters in these moments is not affection, but stability. Does the environment remain calm when the cat withdraws? Does safety stay intact when the cat offers nothing in return? Does the home remain predictable when expectations are unmet? Cats decide belonging through the absence of pressure. They are listening for what doesn't happen as much as what does. When the decision begins. The beginning of belonging is almost always invisible. There is no clear shift that announces itself. Instead, something internal softens. The cat begins to move through the space with less awareness of being observed. Their attention loosens. Their body settles without constant readiness. Small pauses disappear. Movement becomes less calculated. A cat that is beginning to belong may choose the center of a room instead of the edges, or rest without positioning themselves for a quick escape. They may stop tracking every sound, every gesture. This is not confidence in the human sense. It is permission to exist without evaluation. By the time these signs appear, the decision is already unfolding quietly, without asking to be noticed. Belonging lives in the body. Belonging does not begin in behavior. It begins in the nervous system. Before affection becomes visible, before closeness feels possible, the body makes its own decision. Muscles release. Breathing slows. Sleep deepens in a way that does not break at every sound. The cat no longer holds themselves in preparation for interruption. People often wait for affection as proof that a cat belongs, but affection is an outcome, not a starting point. Long before a cat chooses touch, they choose comfort. Long before they seek closeness, they decide that vigilance is no longer necessary. Belonging begins quietly, where the need to stay alert finally ends. Quiet ownership. When an adopted cat decides they belong, the space changes in a subtle but lasting way. The cat no longer moves like a guest navigating someone else's world. They move with quiet ownership, as though the home is an extension of their body rather than a place they are borrowing. Their posture changes. Their presence settles. This is not attachment, and it is not dependence. It is ownership without possession, a calm certainty that this space holds them without condition. The cat no longer asks permission with their body language. They simply exist, and in that quiet existence, belonging has already taken root. When the cat stops performing. At some point, an adopted cat stops managing how they are perceived. They stop adjusting their behavior to fit expectations, stop offering signals meant to reassure or appease. This moment is easy to overlook because it doesn't look like progress. In fact, it can look like indifference. The cat may no longer greet you at the door, no longer track your movements, no longer respond quickly when you enter the room. But this is not withdrawal. It is release. When a cat feels they belong, they no longer need to perform safety. They no longer need to monitor reactions or maintain awareness of being watched. They begin to exist without editing themselves. They rest without checking who is nearby. They move without announcing intention. Their presence becomes neutral, and neutrality is often the clearest sign of trust. Belonging allows a cat to be ordinary, to be uninteresting, to be unguarded in ways that don't ask for attention. When a cat stops trying to be seen as safe, it's because they already feel it. The moment the house becomes background. For an adopted cat, a home becomes real not when it feels comforting, but when it becomes unremarkable. At first, every sound carries meaning. Every movement demands interpretation. The house is foreground, loud, active, constantly requiring response. But when belonging takes hold, the environment fades into the background. The cat no longer listens for footsteps, no longer tracks doors opening and closing, no longer evaluates the mood of the room before choosing where to rest. The home stops being something they must understand and becomes something they can ignore. And this quiet indifference is not lack of connection. It is deep familiarity. A place that has become background is a place that no longer threatens change. It does not require readiness. It does not ask the cat to stay alert. When an adopted cat allows a home to fade into the background of their awareness, it means the space has finally earned permanence. The house is no longer being learned. It is being lived in. Belonging does not ask for witness. One of the quiet truths about belonging is that it doesn't require an audience. An adopted cat does not need to be seen choosing a home for the choice to be real. In fact, the most meaningful moments of acceptance often happen when no one is paying attention at all. A deeper sleep taken in the middle of the room. A body turned away without concern. A pause that no longer carries tension. These moments pass without ceremony. There is no signal that asks to be recognized. No behavior designed to communicate progress. And yet, this is often where belonging fully settles. When a cat no longer needs reassurance, no longer tests the space, no longer checks for response, they are no longer asking whether they are safe. They have already decided. Belonging does not announce itself. It simply remains. In these quiet moments, nothing is being proven anymore. The cat is no longer evaluating the space or preparing for adjustment. There is no calculation behind where they rest, no awareness of how they are perceived, no need to remain responsive. During the belonging, if you've ever shared your life with an adopted cat, you may remember the moment when their presence began to feel different. Not louder, not more affectionate, not suddenly close, just settled. As if something inside them had finally released its grip. The house felt less observed and more shared. The cat felt less like someone passing through, and more like someone who had arrived without needing to announce it. Often, this moment is only recognized later. At the time, it feels ordinary, easy. It blends into daily life without calling attention to itself. And yet, this quiet ease is often the clearest sign that belonging has already been chosen. The cat is no longer measuring the space. They are living inside it. Belonging does not arrive when we notice it. It arrives earlier in small decisions made in silence, in the way a cat rests, moves, and exists when they believe no one is watching. And if you feel comfortable sharing your story, we'd love to hear it. How did your cat first show you that they belonged?